Okay, well, welcome. This portion of the program will discuss your role and responsibilities as a section and committee chair, kind of the expectations, suggestions, guidance, and support for effective leadership as you serve in these roles with the TBA. So we want to thank you for volunteering your time to be a chair for the upcoming 2017-2018 bar year, and want to provide you with a list of expectations to aid you throughout the coming year.
So first, the Executive Council. It's very important that you select a vice chair, and there's a few things you want to keep in mind when selecting a vice chair for your Executive Council. One, do they regularly attend meetings? That's very important. Having someone that's sort of seen how the meetings flow and that you can rely on to be there in case you can't be there is very important. So keep that in mind. Do they regularly attend meetings? Number two, are they active participants in discussions and planning? Do they actively participate, or do they sit there and don't really provide any input as far as discussions? Again, that's very important as to how they will be, because keep in mind, as a vice chair, they will assume the role of chair of the following bar year. And third, have they expressed interest in serving in leadership roles? If they don't seem too eager to accept the position of vice chair, then maybe they're not the person that you should be the vice chair. So keep that in mind. We want someone who's eager to participate and lead, not only as vice chair, but lead the following bar year as the chair. Also, it's important to recruit and retain Executive Council members. And what that means is you want equal representation from the 3 grand divisions. And that's easily, your section coordinators can help you as far as how it's spread out, the Executive Council. And then it's benefits of long-standing and new members. It's good to have a nice mix, because you have the people who have been there for years who can provide the guidance to the new and up-and-coming members, and the new members can provide some insight that maybe the Executive Council who's been there for a while hadn't really thought about. So it's important to have a nice balance of the long-standing and the new members.
Another item that can provide some assistance as you serve as chair are bylaws. Every group actually has a set of approved bylaws that govern the business of that particular section or group. Those bylaws can be found on the various web pages on the TVA website, but the section coordinators and staff coordinators also have access to those. So if you feel like you need to review the bylaws for any reason, feel free to contact one of us, and we would be happy to send those to you.
So now let's discuss meetings. Section Executive Councils meet regularly in order to plan and accomplish the business of the section. Now, there are several opportunities for meeting, which include monthly teleconferences, in-person meetings, which can happen in conjunction with section CLE programs, or in-person meetings at the TVA annual convention. Staff members should be present for all these proceedings, so please keep in mind that if out of the blue you decide there needs to be a teleconference, you will need to check with your section coordinator to ensure that they are available and can provide the teleconference information to set up those calls and be present in order to assist you with those meetings. And as if you are interested in having an in-person meeting at your section CLE or at the annual convention, again, check with your section coordinator about planning that, and we will be happy to assist you in making those arrangements.
So another area that it could be really beneficial for chairs are the section web pages and committee web pages. Every TBA section and committee has its own page on the TBA website. And those pages could include everything from roster of Executive Council members, lists of all section members, bylaws, connect and news items, and various resources related to those areas of practice. So the section web pages are really a wealth of information, and I feel like they're just not tapped into often enough.
Section news. The Connects, which you will learn a lot about, are a great way to promote section activity as well as provide members with useful articles related to that particular area of practice. Now, some items that you can consider for a Connect may include breaking news, which is always great to have because those can be sent out very quickly to your section. Articles in general, whether you have some article that you found in a magazine or on a website, or it could be an article that is actually written by you or someone else that you're able to get that from. Case updates. Everybody loves the case updates, so if you have something of importance like that, it's easily sent out. Legislative updates, another major, especially during the session. It's important to let your section members know what legislation is either currently being proposed or may have already been passed and will go into effect. And upcoming CLE programming. Obviously, that's a great way to advertise your CLE and get the word out to the entire section. Another thing to keep in mind is other TBA programs and events. If there's something that's coming up from another group that might pertain to your section's area of practice, we can send that out as well. And that just, again, all these connect items are a way to keep your section in the know as to what's going on with not only your section, but other areas of the TBA as well.
So one of the other items that sections are tasked with is producing a section CLE program every year. And, you know, our CLE department have this down to like a well-oiled machine. And so you will have a CLE coordinator that will work with your particular section on planning and executing a successful CLE program. So make sure to tap into that resource, and I'm sure we will have 32 wonderful CLE programs in the next year.
Other section opportunities. Besides the news and the CLE, there are other opportunities for involvement available to sections. Examples of that is proposing and reviewing legislation. You will be given deadlines, which one deadline will be in September. That is the time for you to propose legislation if your section so chooses. And then the December deadline is when the final proposal has to be into the TBA. And then reviewing legislation, especially during the legislative session throughout the year, the TBA may send legislation that they ask your section to review. It's important that you look at that, and if you have comments, to respond, because obviously with 32 sections, that's all different areas of law, and it's very difficult for the TBA to keep up with every area of law. So having the specific sections who practice this law every day review it and make their comments is very important for the TBA to do their job. Also, participating in pro bono projects. This may be clinics, Wheels for Heroes. It's various different pro bono projects around. Your section may choose to do one on their own, and if they choose to do that, then that's great, because we have plenty of ways to spread that word, and pro bono is very important to the TBA. So we encourage our sections to do some form of pro bono project throughout the year. Also, submitting articles for the Tennessee Bar Journal is another way of participating within the TBA, and special publications. For example, the family law section every year does an alimony bench book. So that's an opportunity that if there's something in your area of law that you think would be an asset to the legal community and to your section, then please speak to your section coordinator about that particular item. And again, we thank you for listening to us, and we hope that the roles and responsibilities will assist you throughout the bar year as an effective leader.